Hey guys, welcome to Open Techno. If you live in Spain a few weeks ago, did you experience that blackout when we were without electricity for more than 12 hours? Honestly, it was chaos. Because in most homes, there isn't even a removable battery or a power bank to rely on. If, for example, we want to charge our mobile device, we have low battery, and hey, we need it, whether it's to communicate or simply to be able to call the emergency number. In short, a battery that can get us out of a lot of trouble. As I was saying, it could be charging a phone, charging a computer, or just turning on an LED light to accompany us. In case it's nighttime, we can use it to go through the rooms of the house. Or for example, if we want to go to the bathroom, which usually doesn't have a window to the outside. This blackout caught me right when the brand Charge, which is the one that sent us all these products I have here behind me, contacted me. Well, they had sent me several removable batteries that I had charged, and of course they helped me charge both my mobile device and those of my family members I live with. Plus, I was also able to plug in my laptop. Honestly, that was the only thing I lacked. Having light in the rooms wasn't necessary since the event was from 12 ante-meridium to 12 post-meridium, and most of that time had daylight. Anyway, I won't go on. In this video, I'm going to explain Charge's products and why you should take a look at them and be interested in this video. And at the very least, have a removable battery at home, so we don't have another 12-hour blackout again. Sometimes the power goes out in our town for half an hour or an hour due to an incident, leaving us without electricity for a while. While they're restoring it, our phone might die, and will this really help us out of trouble? Let's start with one of the most special devices I've been sent, and one of my favorites, because of its versatility and its compact design. And it's the Charge Ice Mag 2. This is the second version of a removable battery that has already had many sales from the Charge brand. But what makes it special? This battery has a nominal 10,000 mAh capacity, but you can actually use only about 6,000 mAh. All batteries have less than 100% efficiency. That's why you've likely noticed that when you charge your phone with a battery like this, it doesn't allow as many charges as you first expected. Well, here we're going to talk about real numbers. This charger has a capacity of 6,000 mAh and has wireless charging on the back. In addition, it has a USB-C port, which will allow us to charge all kinds of devices. This ICE Mag 2 is mainly made for iPhone devices, because on its back, the wireless charging is through MagSafe. This wireless magnetic charging lets us power our mobile device, including our iPhone. This way, as you can see, the battery stays completely attached to the iPhone and it keeps charging at all times. Okay, what is special about this battery? This battery charges and discharges via USB-C at 30 days. Also on the back, it will charge our iPhone using QI2 through this 15W wireless charging. We'll have multiple charges at 7.5W and a few at intermediate power levels. This will be communicated between the device and the battery, charging at its maximum rate. On iPhone, that's up to 15W. That's why, and to prevent the battery from overheating, we have a heat sink with a fan in this lower part that keeps the battery from getting hot. Since this battery is so small and has such high power, it's a fan. If we put it up to our ear, we will hear it, but if we're in a normal environment, watching a video in our room, we won't hear it at all. It's completely comfortable. Also, if we're wirelessly charging the iPhone and then connect USB-C to a charger, there's a peculiarity. The battery will simply act as a charging device, meaning the battery will serve as a wireless charging base and will transfer the energy from the power adapter directly to the iPhone wirelessly. This battery has some really cool peculiarities. First, we have a stand that we can adjust to whatever height we want so we can place the iPhone on a table. This way, as you can see, I set it on the table and there it is. For example, while we're working at our desk, we can have it raised like this to see notifications. We can also place it horizontally, and this way, we can charge our mobile device at the same time. We could be watching, for example, a YouTube video or a television show, or simply, for example, set the usual background. This one where the clock appears with the active display, or I can't remember. Always on display, sorry, that's what it was called, when we keep our device's screen always on. This battery is quite advanced and is capable of providing power to 2 devices at the same time, through wireless charging and also via USB-C. But always up to 30 watts maximum. Also, this battery is prepared to charge small devices such as earbuds. But we should hold down the power button for 3 seconds so it enters low intensity or low power mode, and that way it can detect those earbuds that require very little power. Also, it has 4 LEDs at the bottom that show us the battery percentage at all times. This ISMAC can be purchased for around 53 euros on the official website or on Amazon. Honestly, I think it's a complete product. It has strong power and can charge 2 devices simultaneously. We have MagSafe for the iPhone, and we also have that little tab that can help us keep the phone in a position we like. To watch a video while charging the iPhone. Now what? If you want something a little more basic, then we have this battery from last year. This is the Carbon Mag, very similar to the ISMAC, but it has one. For example, it's made of carbon fiber, making it much more durable than the ISMAC. And then we won't have all that charging power that we had with the ISMAC, up to 30W. In this one, the maximum power will be 15W, both in the wireless part with the iPhone, which attaches in exactly the same way. We have QI2, we have MagSafe, and it would charge our iPhone in a very secure way because the magnetic part will have about 12 newtons of force, which is equivalent to about 1.3 kilograms, meaning we can apply about 1 kilogram of force before the magnets separate. As I mentioned, the battery provides 15W, not 30W of power. Similarly, in addition to wireless charging, we will have a USB-C port at the bottom. As I mentioned, this battery focuses more on resistance and durability, and it's also much more minimalist. And since it doesn't have that fan, this battery doesn't make any noise at all. The price of this battery, since it's made of carbon fiber, goes up a bit to around 63 euros. You might have guessed it, but the capacity of this Carbon Mag is exactly the same as the ICE Mag, 10,000 ms gross and 6,000 ms net. These 2 batteries will be able to charge an iPhone 15 Pro Max about 1.5 times, like this one for example. And with that said, let's move on to the crown jewel, the Shargeek 170 at 24,000 mAh battery that will be able to deliver up to 170W of power. We'll have 3 ports, 2 USB-C and 1 USB-A. A single USB-C port by itself would deliver 140W of power if we connect 2 devices to the 2 USB-C ports. They can deliver 100W on one and 65W on the other. And we could connect up to 3 devices, which would give 65W on each of the 2 USB-C ports and 18W on the USB-A port. The most special thing about this battery is that we have 24,000 mAh of capacity that it's going to give us. For example, to charge a phone 5 times, to charge a MacBook Pro once, like the one I have back here. It will let us charge an iPad twice. It will charge a Switch twice, 4 times. A camera? Anyway, this battery will definitely get us out of any kind of trouble for quite a while. Because 5 charges for an iPhone last me practically a week or even more. This battery is great. Not only does it have good capacity, but you'll also see the impressive tech features. It has cells that can keep more than 80% of their capacity after 800 charge cycles, so we can charge it a lot of times and use it a lot. The cells we have on the back, you can see them here, are going to hold up really well and degrade very little. Also, an important thing, by the way, this battery, since it has a capacity of 86.4 Wh, is perfectly valid to take on airplanes. I recently found out that there are batteries you can't take on airplanes if they have too much capacity. Well, it has a plastic design. The Carbon Mag and ICE Mag, for example, are a bit cooler in my opinion, but they've chosen a different style with this one. We have all the electronic components visible on the front, the cells that you can see on the back, the charging ports on one side, along with a power button. On the front is this display, which shows us important information. First, the charging or discharging time, if we have things plugged in, which it will be able to power. We have a section to know the power we're putting into the battery when we're charging it, the power we're drawing from the battery when we're charging other devices, and the percentage of charge left in the battery. This battery honestly is going to get you out of a lot of trouble because, like I said, you could charge up to 3 devices at the same time, one of them being, for example, a MacBook Pro like the one I have back here. Also, this battery is IP66, which means it's resistant to water splashes and dust. It has metal on the sides, but like I said, the front and the rest are made of plastic, and it has a cool design. Honestly, it's a bit heavy because it has a lot of cells and gives us long battery life. As I mentioned, it can help you avoid trouble if you run out of electricity or take a road trip. If you sleep in a caravan, camper, or similar, this will save you a lot of trouble. It also has a great feature, 140W charging, reaching 50% in just 20 minutes, which is impressive. I can't show you this since I don't have a 140W charger. If you want to charge that fast, you'll need to get one yourself. But charging it with a phone charger will take around 3 to 4 hours. Maybe with one of those Xiaomi chargers, like a 60W one or so. Well, anyway, or if you leave it charging overnight, it'll be fully charged. There's no problem at all. You can charge it with whatever you want using a USB. This battery costs a bit more, around €110 to €115, but it's one of the top highest capacity batteries on the market. Also, it has an original design that I think is worth appreciating, and the little screen that tells us at all times. Well, the current going out and coming in, how long it can supply it, and so on. I think that's a really cool detail. And finally, the people from Shargeek also sent me these Retractable 65, which are devices, well, USB-C chargers. What's special about them? Well, you can probably guess from the name. They have a cable that you can pull out at any time and leave it at whatever length you want. So you don't have to have, for example, a 1-meter cable on the table if you only need 10 centimeters. Anyway, these are chargers that provide 65W, and besides this small built-in cable, they're really great for taking with you when you travel. Regarding travel, although you see a European plug now, it can be removed and replaced with an American plug. In case you go on a trip, which is really great. But also, besides having the cable, which is retractable, I don't know how to say it, well, that it can be retracted. Wow, we have a USB-C port. What happens if we connect 2 devices at the same time? Well, those 65W will be intelligently distributed between both USB-C ports. If one uses 10W, the other will be able to use 55W. This charger is available in 2 colors, black and white, so you can choose the one you like best. And it's the perfect companion for all these batteries I've been showing you, and for you to always take with you when you travel in a backpack. Especially since you can charge your phone, Apple Watch, laptop, or whatever you need. They support power delivery, the main charging standard for most devices, and use gallium nitride technology to stay cool and deliver ample power. And of course, besides charging phones, they're also capable of charging a laptop like the MacBook Pro I have right here behind me without any problem. The price of this Retractable 65 is about 40 to 42 euros, and as I mentioned, you can choose the type of connector and the color. And with that said, I hope you liked this video, that you found it interesting, and most importantly, that you got some ideas from it. And honestly, I recommend that you always have some kind of removable magnetic battery at home for your iPhone. For example, the ICE Mag or the Carbon Mag, which are batteries that take up very little space. You'll always have them charged, and the day the power goes out, well, you can use them to charge your device and not worry because you'll be able to do it. At the very least, you'll be able to last 1 or 2 more days without having your phone connected to your home network. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, leave a like. If you have questions, comment below. See you in the next video. Goodbye.